Hey, I'm Manny Apolonio, Senior Financial Planner and Certified Financial Coach. I'm your coach, online at least. Here we are. I wanted to talk to you about 8 areas of your own financial life you should already know about yourself, but 8 you should definitely know about your partner before you marry them. So before you go and make that commitment to join in union legally and, spiritually, romantically, however you define that for yourself, but definitely in the legal world, if you're in a community property state, for example, like California, the laws get kind of tricky around money stuff, so pay attention. But I'm not talking about that today. I'm just talking about like the general topics of financial information that you should have a good idea about when it comes to your partner's financial situation. I always joke with my friends, like on dating apps, that they should have their credit score and, what their prospects are for career progression. It sounds really trite and unromantic, but, it's important to me to know that about my partner. It's important to me to know that my partner has goals in general. And it's important to me that they have had history in managing money well, and maybe even history in the past of managing money poorly, but that they've learned from that experience. All of it is information for me, right, as I go into a relationship. So that kind of stuff is what I need to feel safe in a relationship, but it's up to you what you need to feel safe in a relationship. So pay attention, take notes, here they are. Okay, debt. You should really understand what kind of current debts your partner is under. So like student loans, credit card debt, if they have any outstanding loans, and then you should be discussing how they plan on paying that debt off, or if that's gonna be something that you decide together as a couple to pay off, because their debt will affect your life as well. Number 2, income and employment. You should discuss your partner's income. And when I say your partner's income, I mean this should be like a mutual space for transparency and communication. So in the spirit of that, you should also be engaging in this kind of disclosure. But maybe you guys need to have a conversation about the income, your job stability, what your career aspirations are, and then understand what the future earning potential might look like for them in their particular career. And you have to decide, does this align with our overall financial goals? Number 3, you want to talk about savings and investments. Particularly, you want to talk about your partner's savings habits and financial goals. So you want to know, have they had a savings account before? How much do they contribute? A lot of this might be new information, right? Think about it like this. It's like another dimension in which you get to learn about your partner. So going back to that savings, you want to know if they have an emergency fund. You want to know if they've made any investments, if they have any experience, participating in the stock market, potentially like in a 401k or a brokerage account outside of that. And you want to know what are they saving for? Or what do they want to be saving for? Number 4, spending habits. So share your spending habits and discuss your partners as well. Understand each other's values towards money and how much you prioritize savings and budgeting and discretionary spending. You want to just kind of get an idea of how does your partner relate to those different parts of having a financial life. You might even ask do you feel like you're financially well, or is there a stressor in your life that is maybe affecting you? This is the opportunity to discuss those things out in the open. You want to know for yourself what is a potential pitfall. Here's why. You might notice that your partner is maybe shopping some more than usual, and that might be a yellow flag for you, and you might want to inquire hey, what's up? I see that you're shopping more. What's going on? Is there something not making you feel good and that's why you want to shop? It gives you another opportunity, another touch point as you care for one another. Number 5, you want to discuss any financial obligations that you're under. Your partner might have things like alimony or child support support, and I hope that by this point you have had that conversation. This is the opportunity to bring it up and kind of really understand what that financial commitment looks like for them on a monthly basis, because it's going to affect your overall household budgeting. Number 6, you want to know about their financial goals. Like, what are they trying to achieve? What were they trying to achieve financially before they met you? What are they trying to achieve financially now that they're with you? And what do you guys want to achieve together as a couple, right? You're joining in this union to potentially accomplish more, join economic resources so you can potentially buy a house together, start a family, whatever it may be. But that requires some planning, of course, and it requires a shared vision. And having a shared vision with your partner on financial goals is one way to ensure you're going to reach them. Number 7, you want to know your credit score. You want to know your partner's credit score. You want to know if they've had any trouble in the past keeping up with debt obligations like loan payments or student loans, hospital bills, mortgages, whatever it may be. You want to know, have they been through a bankruptcy before? If someone has had trouble managing their credit in the past, it is not very hard to slip back into habituated patterns of potential overspending. And not to say that everybody who has debt is an overspender, but if the debt is on credit cards, it tends to be an indicator that the person is living outside of their means. So that might be a point in the discussion where you decide things like a budget, a household spending plan, etc. Number 8, there are legal documents and financial documents that you should talk about. God forbid something happens, let your partner know where they can find specific documents. Especially if you've named them as like beneficiary on some accounts, it just makes life easier for them if they know even where you keep a statement or you have a list of credentials that they can refer to access your accounts online if that's required. But essentially, make life easy for them so that they can administer your estate or fulfill your wishes in your will or your trust. But leave breadcrumbs for folks, and better than that, have a discussion now while everybody's still alive about what your intentions are with things like your legacy and things like gifts you want to make in the event that you pass away before them. There is a general spirit of like openness and trust that's required to have this kind of conversation. So I know I make it sound like it's super easy to bring up these topics, and I know it's difficult sometimes for people to talk about money things. But if you're going into a long-term relationship with this person where inevitably your financial lives will need to intersect, I want you to have a really clear idea of what you're getting yourself into and whether or not your partner's financial maturity matches yours, right? You don't want to inherit someone else's misguided or bad money habits and then take that on as your financial burden, because in my experience, that usually tends to a lot of stress and dissatisfaction in a relationship. So with all of those tips, I hope that you are brave and willing to have an open conversation with your partner about these financial topics, whether or not you're getting married or not. The benefit of having these conversations far outweigh the temporary discomfort you might be experiencing as you have the conversation. So with that, I wish you prosperity and wellness all around today and every day. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.